You are about to make a mistake that will destroy you. You are about to trust someone completely. You think because they have been loyal for months or years, because they smile when you walk in the room, because they have never given you a reason to doubt them, that they are safe, that they are yours, that they will never turn. You are wrong. And the moment you realize you are wrong will be the moment they have already taken everything from you. There is a sickness in the modern world. We call it trust. We are told that trust is the foundation of relationships, that it is noble, that it is the mark of a good person. We are taught to trust our partners, our friends, our colleagues, our my. We are told that if we do not trust, we are damaged, we are paranoid, we are incapable of love. This is the most dangerous lie you have ever been fed. Trust is not a virtue. Trust is a currency. And if you spend it all in one place, you go bankrupt the moment that place burns down. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote over 500 years ago that men are fickle, hypocritical, and greedy. He did not write this to be cruel. He wrote it because he watched empires collapse from the inside. Not because of external enemies, but because a king trusted the wrong advisor. Because a general trusted the wrong lieutenant. Because a merchant trusted the wrong partner. The pattern was always the same. Trust was given freely. Loyalty was assumed, and betrayal was inevitable. If you think the modern world is different, if you think your circle is special, if you think you have somehow surrounded yourself with people who are immune to self-interest, you are not enlightened. You are naive, a naivety in a world of predators. It's a death sentence. In the next few minutes, we are going to dismantle the fantasy of unconditional loyalty. We are going to explore the 10 ruthless principles of strategic trusts. These are not tips for building friendships. These are survival mechanisms for a world where everyone, and I mean everyone, is one bad day away from putting their interests above yours. By the end of this, you will never look at your closest friend, your business partner, or your lover the same way again. You will see the invisible strings that tie people to you, and you will understand that those strings can be cut at any moment. But be warned. Once you accept this reality, you can never go back to the comfort of blind faith. You will be awake in a world of sleepwalkers, and the loneliness of that awareness is the price you pay for never being blindsided again. Most people will turn this off. They will reject this because it is uncomfortable. It forces them to admit that the people they love are capable of hurting them. If you are still here, you are ready for the truth. Let's begin. Principle 1. Loyalty is always conditional. Here is the delusion. You believe that if you are good to someone, if you invest in them, if you show up for them, they will be loyal to you forever. You think loyalty is a character trait. It is not. Loyalty is a transaction. It is a cost-benefit analysis that happens every single day in the subconscious mind of every person in your life. The moment the cost of staying loyal to you exceeds the benefit, they are gone. And they will justify it. They will tell themselves they had no choice. They will tell themselves you changed. They will tell themselves it was for the best. But the truth is simpler. You stopped being worth it, Machiavelli said. Loyalty bought with money may be destroyed by money. Extend that logic. Loyalty bought with favors can be destroyed by better favors. Loyalty bought with status can be destroyed by higher status. Loyalty bought with emotional support can be destroyed by someone who offers more support with less drama. You are in a constant auction for the allegiance of everyone around you, and you do not even know you are bidding. The moment you believe someone is unconditionally loyal, you stop making deposits into the loyalty account. You stop providing value. You get comfortable, and comfort is where betrayal lives. Think about the people who have betrayed you in the past. Did they wake up one day and decide to be evil? No. They slowly, incrementally began to weigh the cost of staying versus the benefit of leaving. Maybe you became needy. Maybe they found someone who made them feel more important. Maybe your stock dropped, and theirs rose. The math stopped working in your favor. That is all it takes. Human beings are not loyal to people. They are loyal to how people make them feel about themselves. If you make them feel powerful, valuable, and successful, they stay. If you make them feel small, burdened, or stagnant, they leave. It does not matter what you did for them last year. They are asking, "What have you done for me lately?" And if the answer is nothing, you are already losing them. So what is the strategy? Simple. Never stop providing value. Never stop being the person who elevates their life. Never assume your history with them is enough to carry the present. And most importantly, diversify your investments. Do not put all your loyalty into one person. Spread it across multiple people, so that if one turns, you are not destroyed. You are inconvenienced. Loyalty is not a bond. It is a leash. And the moment you let go of your ente, will ruin hold the leash. But never forget that they are only there because you are holding it. Principle 2. People betray their nature, not you. This is where most people break. They take betrayal personally. They spend months, sometimes years, asking, how could they do this to me? After everything I did for them, they replay the moments of kindness. They list the sacrifices. They build a case for why the betrayal does not make sense. It does not make sense because you are looking at the wrong variable. The betrayal was never about you. It was about them. It was always going to happen because that is who they are. Machiavelli knew that a man will act according to his nature, not according to your expectations. If someone is selfish by nature, they will betray you when it serves their self. If someone is weak by nature, they will betray you under pressure. If someone is opportunistic by nature, they will betray you the moment a better opportunity appears. The mistake you made was not in trusting them. The mistake you made was in trusting them to be something they are not. You projected your values onto them. You assumed they operated by your code. They do not. They never did. Think of it like this. If you put a scorpion in your pocket and it stings you, are you shocked? Are you heartbroken? Are you asking, how could the scorpion do this to me? I gave it a warm place to stay. No. You understand that the scorpion stung you, because that is what scorpions do. It is not personal. It is nature. The same applies to people. The liar will lie. The coward will flee. The user will use. The only question is whether you saw the signs early enough to protect yourself. Most of the time, the signs were there. You ignored them because you wanted to believe in the version of them you had constructed in your mind. You wanted the fairy tale. You got the fable. The strategy here is brutal, but effective. Watch people when they have nothing to gain from you. Watch how they treat people who cannot help them. Watch how they talk about the people who trusted them in the past. If they badmouth their old friends, they will badmouth you. If they are disloyal to others, they will be disloyal to you. The only difference is timing. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Do not give them the benefit of the doubt. Do not make excuses for them, accept their nature, and adjust your expectations accordingly. If you choose to keep them in your life, fine. But do not trust them with anything you cannot afford to lose. Treat them like the scorpion. Admire them from a distance. Never put them in your pocket. Principle 3. Trust must be tested, not given. You meet someone. They're charming. They're helpful. They say all the right things. You feel a connection, so you trust them. You tell them your plans. You share your vulnerabilities. You give them access to your resources. And you do all of this because they have done nothing wrong yet. This is the trap. You are trusting them based on the absence of betrayal rather than the presence of proof. Absence of evidence is not evidence of loyalty. It is just an empty data set, and you are gambling your future on a blank page. Machiavelli advised that a prince should test the loyalty of his advisors before giving them power. He understood that loyalty is cheap to claim and expensive to prove. Words mean nothing. Intentions mean nothing. The only thing that matters is behavior under pressure. Has this person sacrificed for you when it cost them something? Have they protected your interests when you were not watching? Have they turned down a better offer to stay by your side? If the answer is no, you do not have their loyalty. You have their convenience. And convenience evaporates the moment the situation changes. Here is how you test loyalty without them knowing they are being tested. Create small opportunities for them to betray you and see what they do. Tell them a secret that is not critical but useful, and see if it stays secret. Introduce them to someone who could benefit them more than you can, and see if they start courting that relationship. Give them access to something valuable, and see if they respect the boundaries. These are not manipulations. These are reconnaissance missions. You are gathering intelligence on their character. If they fail the small tests, They will catastrophically fail the big ones. If they pass, you can incrementally increase your trust. But here is the key. Never trust anyone 100%. Even if they pass every test, keep 10% of yourself locked away. Keep a backup plan. Keep an exit strategy. Keep a piece of information they do not have. Never assume your history with them is enough to carry the present. And most importantly, diversify your investments. Do not put all your loyalty into one person. Spread it across multiple people so that if one turns, you are not destroyed. You are inconvenienced. Loyalty is not a bond, it is a leash. And the moment you let go of your end, Tay will run. Hold the leash, but never forget that they are only there because you are holding it. Principle 2. People betray their nature. Ruthless is where most people break. They take betrayal personally. They spend months, sometimes years, asking, how could they do this to me? After everything I did for them, they replay the moments of kindness. They list the sacrifices. They build a case for why the betrayal does not make sense. It does not make sense because you are looking at the wrong variable. The betrayal was never about you. It was about them. It was always going to happen. Because that is who they are. Machiavelli knew that a man will act according to his nature, not according to your expectations. If someone is selfish by nature, they will betray you when it serves their self. If someone is weak by nature, they will betray you under pressure. If someone is opportunistic by nature, they will betray you the moment a better opportunity appears. The mistake you made was not in trusting them. The mistake you made was in trusting them to be something they are not. You projected your values onto them. You assumed they operated by your code. They do not. They never did. Think of it like this. If you put a scorpion in your pocket and it stings you, are you shocked? Are you heartbroken? Are you asking, how could the scorpion do this to me? I gave it a warm place to stay. No. You understand that the scorpion stung you because that is what scorpions do. It is not personal. It is nature. The same applies to people. The liar will lie. The coward will flee. The user will use. The only question is whether you saw the signs early enough to protect yourself. Most of the time, the signs were there. You ignored them because you wanted to believe in the version of them you had constructed in your mind. You wanted the fairy tale. You got the fable. The strategy here is brutal, but effective. Watch people when they have nothing to gain from you. Watch how they treat people who cannot help them. Watch how they talk about the people who trusted them in the past. If they badmouth their old friends, they will badmouth you. If they are disloyal to others, they will be disloyal to you. The only difference is timing. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first time, do not give them the benefit of the doubt. Do not make excuses for them. Accept their nature and adjust your expectations accordingly. If you choose to keep them in your life, fine. But do not trust them with anything you cannot afford to lose. Treat them like the scorpion. Admire them from a distance. Never put them in your pocket. Principle 3. Trust must be tested, not given. You meet Samoa. They are charming. They are helpful. They say all the right things. You feel a connection, so you trust them. You tell them your plans. You share your vulnerabilities. You give them access to your resources. And you do all of this because they have done nothing wrong yet. This is the trap. You are trusting them based on the absence of betrayal, rather than the presence of proof. Absence of evidence is not evidence of loyalty. It is just an empty data set, and you are gambling your future on a blank page. Machiavelli advised that a prince should test the loyalty of his advisors before giving them power. He understood that loyalty is cheap to claim and expensive to prove. Words mean nothing. Intentions mean nothing. The only thing that matters is behavior. Under pressure, has this person sacrificed for you when it cost him something? Have they protected your interests when you were not watching? Have they turned down a better offer to stay by your side? If the answer is no, you do not have their loyalty. You have their convenience, and convenience evaporates the moment the situation changes. This is not paranoia. This is sovereignty. The person who trusts completely is the person who gets destroyed completely. The person who trusts strategically is the person who survives betrayal with their empire. Intact test. First, trust later. And even then, trust with limits. Principle for the appearance of trust is more powerful than trust itself. This is the paradox that will change your life. You do not actually need to trust people to make them loyal to you. You just need to make them believe you trust them. Perceived trust creates obligation. Perceived trust creates guilt. Perceived trust makes people police their own behavior because they do not want to disappoint you. But actual trust makes you vulnerable. Actual trust removes your defenses. Actual trust gives them the keys to your kingdom. So why give actual trust when perceived trust accomplishes the same goal with none of the risk? Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This applies to trust. If you appear to trust someone fully, they will act as if you do. They will feel the weight of your confidence. They will be reluctant to betray that confidence because betrayal would damage their self-image. But behind the appearance, you remain vigilant. You are verifying. You are monitoring. You are protecting your assets. They feel trusted. You stay safe. This is the art of controlled vulnerability. Let me give you a concrete example. You have a business partner. You want them to feel trusted, so they are motivated and loyal. So you tell them, "I trust you completely with this project. I know you will handle it." This makes them feel valued. But behind the scenes, you're built-in checkpoints. You have access to the financials. You have periodic reviews. You have a secondary contact who can tell you if something goes wrong. You are not micromanaging. You are strategically overseeing. They experience the warmth of your trust. You experience the safety of your systems. Most people make the mistake of thinking, trust is all or nothing. It is not. Trust is a theater. You can perform trust while maintaining the infrastructure of verification. The key is that the verification must be invisible. If they feel like you do not trust them, they will resent you. If they feel trusted but are actually being monitored, they will perform at their best while you sleep soundly, knowing you have a safety net. This is not dishonesty. This is leadership. A king who trusts his guards without having spies is a dead king. A king who has spies but treats his guards with respect and confidence is a king who dies of old age. Principle 5. Shared secrets create false intimacy. Tell someone a secret. They tell you a secret. You feel close. You feel bonded. You feel like you have entered into a sacred pact. You think, now we are in this together. Now I can trust them. This is one of the most dangerous psychological traps in human relationships. Shared secrets do not create loyalty. They create leverage. And leverage can be used in both directions. The moment the relationship sours, your secret becomes a weapon. The intimacy you thought you had was a shield becomes a sword pointed at your chest. Machiavelli warned that a prince must be careful what he reveals, because knowledge is power, and giving someone power over you is giving them the ability to destroy you. When you share a secret, you are handing someone a file labeled, "How to Ruin Me." Most of the time, they do not use it. But that is only because the relationship is currently beneficial to them. The moment it is not, the file gets opened. And if your secret is damaging enough, they will use it to protect themselves, to negotiate a better position, or simply to hurt you because you hurt them. The bond you thought you had was not a bond. It was a mutual hostage situation. And hostage situations end badly. Think about the people in your life who know your darkest truths. Do you trust them because they are trustworthy? Or do you trust them because you have to? There is a difference. True trust is a choice. False trust is a vulnerability you are trying to rationalize. If your entire sense of security with someone is based on the fact that they could ruin you, but have not yet, that is not security. That is a ticking time bomb. You are just hoping the timer does not run out. So what do? You calibrate your revelations. You share vulnerabilities that create connection without creating catastrophic leverage. You can share struggles, doubts, and fears that humanize you without arming them. But the secrets that could dismantle your reputation, your career, or your freedom, those stay in the vault. And if you absolutely must share them, you share them with someone who has equal or greater exposure. Someone who would lose as much as you if the information went public. Mutually assured destruction is the only reliable insurance policy in the game of secrets. Share enough to bond, withhold enough to survive. Principle 6. Dependency is more reliable than affection. You want people to be loyal to you because they like you. This is a mistake. Affection is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. People fall in and out of love. They get bored, they get offended, they find someone they like more. If your security is built on how much someone likes you, you are standing on quicksand. But if your security is built on how much someone needs you, you are standing on concrete. Dependency does not fluctuate. With mood, dependency is structural, and structures, lest Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But translate that into the language of trust. It is better to be needed than liked if you cannot be both. When someone depends on you for their income, their status, their access, or their success, they cannot afford to betray you. The cost is too high. Their survival is tied to yours. You are not just a friend or a partner. You are a lifeline. And people do not cut lifelines, no matter how annoying the person holding the rope might be. Look at your current relationships. Who is loyal to you because they like you, and who is loyal to you because they need you? The ones who need you will stay when things get hard. The ones who like you will leave the moment you stop being fun, useful, or flattering to their ego. This does not mean you should be cold or transactional. It means you should engineer situations where your value to them is undeniable and irreplaceable. Become the gatekeeper to something they want. Become the solver of a problem only you can solve. Become the bridge to a world they cannot access without you. But here is the nuance. Dependency must not feel like dependency. If they feel controlled, they will resent you and look for a way out. The dependency must feel like partnership. They must feel like they are choosing to stay, not that they are trapped. This is the art. You hold the leverage quietly. You are the critical piece of their success, but you never remind them of it. You are the sun they orbit, but you never point out that without you, they would freeze. They stay because it makes sense. You stay safe because you are indispensable. Affection is a bonus. Dependency is the foundation. Principle 7. Forgive the mistake. Never the pattern someone betrays your trust. Maybe they lied. Maybe they broke a promise. Maybe they chose someone else over you. They apologize. They explain. They swear it will never happen again. You want to believe them. You want to think people can change. So you forgive them. You let them back in. And for a while, it is fine. Until it happens again. And again. And then you realize you did not forgive a person. You forgave a pattern. And patterns do not apologize. They just repeat. Machiavelli understood that behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. A man who lies once will lie again. A man who abandons you under pressure will abandon you again. A man who prioritizes himself at your expense will do it again. The apology is theater. The tears are theater. The promises are theater. But the pattern is the truth. The pattern is who they are when the pressure is on, when the stakes are high, when their comfort is threatened. If you ignore the pattern because you like the performance, you are not being forgiving. You are being foolish. Here is the rule. Forgive the isolated mistake. People messed up. They have bad days. They make errors in judgment. If someone who has been loyal for years has one moment of failure, and they own it, and they correct it, you can forgive that. That is not a pattern. That is an anomaly. But if someone repeatedly does the same harmful behavior, apologizes, and then does it again, that is not a mistake. That is a strategy. They are testing how much they can get away with. And every time you forgive the pattern, you are teaching them that the answer is everything. The strategy is simple. 1 strike, you note it. 2 strikes, you confront it. 3 strikes, you end it. No exceptions. No, but we have history. No, but they are going through something. Patterns do not change because you are patient. Patterns change because consequences are enforced. If you allow someone to hurt you multiple times without consequence, you are not a victim of their behavior. You are an enabler of it. Protect yourself by refusing to be a training ground for people who are learning how much disrespect you will tolerate. Once is forgivable. Twice is a pattern. 3 times is a choice. And you get to choose whether you will be there for the 4th. Principle 8. Trust no one. With everything, this is the most important principle and the hardest to execute. You have one person you trust with your business, one person you trust with your emotions, one person you trust with your secrets, one person you trust with your money. And you think this is loyalty. It is not. It is concentration of risk. If any one of those people turns, flips, breaks, or leaves, an entire dimension of your life collapses. You have built a house on a single pillar. The moment that pillar cracks, the roof falls on your head. Machiavelli advised leaders to never allow one advisor to hold all the information. He knew that the person who knows everything is the person who can destroy everything. Distribute the knowledge, distribute the access, distribute the trust. No single person should be able to bring you to your knees. This is not paranoia. This is architecture. You are building a structure that can withstand the failure of any individual component. You are making yourself resilient to betrayal, not by preventing betrayal, but by making betrayal survivable. Think about this. Practically, your business partner knows the financials, but not your personal struggles. Your therapist knows your emotional landscape, but not your business secrets. Your lawyer knows your legal exposure, but not your strategic plans. Your best friend knows your dreams, but not your passwords. Everyone has a piece. No one has the whole puzzle. This does not mean you are fake with people. It means you are strategic with vulnerability. You are intimate in different dimensions with different people. And if one relationship ends, you do not lose everything. You lose one piece, and pieces can be replaced. But here is the emotional challenge. This approach feels lonely. It feels like you are not truly known by anyone, and that is partially true. But the question is, would you rather be fully known by one person and fully destroyed when they leave, or partially known by many people and fully intact no matter who leaves? The second option is survival. The first option is a romantic fantasy that ends in catastrophe. You can have depth with people. You can have intimacy with people. But you should never have total dependency on people. Distribute your trust. Protect your kingdom. Principle 9. The moment you are no longer useful, you are no longer safe. This is the principle no one wants to hear, but everyone needs to understand. People keep you around as long as you serve a function. You make them laugh. You solve their problems. You provide access. You boost their ego. You make their life easier. You are functional. And as long as you are functional, you are valuable. But the moment you stop serving that function, the moment you become a burden instead of a benefit, you become disposable. And disposal happens faster than you think. Machiavelli observed that people are ungrateful, fickle, and opportunistic. They will ride with you as long as the ride benefits them. But the moment the ride stops being fun, stops being profitable, stops being advantageous, they get off, and they do not feel guilty about it. They rationalize it. We grew apart. Our lives went in different directions. It just was not working anymore. Translation: you stopped being useful, so I stopped pretending to care. This is not evil. This is economics. Every relationship is an exchange. If the exchange is no longer favorable, the relationship ends. Look at your own history. Think about the friends you lost when you changed jobs, the colleagues who stopped calling when you left the company, the romantic partners who stayed as long as you were successful, but left the moment you struggled. Were they bad people? Maybe not. They were people operating by the law of utility. You were useful, then you were not. Temobedon. If you took it personally, you suffered. If you understood it as the natural order, you adapted. The mistake is thinking that love, friendship, or loyalty can exist independently of utility. It cannot. Utility is the oxygen. Take away the oxygen, the relationships suffer. So, what is the strategy? Never stop being useful. Continuously evolve your value. If you were the funny one, become the wise one. If you were the connector, become the problem solver. If you were the helper, become the leader. Your identity and relationships cannot be static. The moment you are static, you are replaceable. Someone younger, cheaper, more energetic, more connected will come along and do what you do, but better. And the person who swore they would never leave you will leave you. Not because they lied, but because you stopped evolving. Stay useful. Stay valuable. Stay irreplaceable. The moment you rest on your laurels, you are resting on a time bomb principle. 10. The strongest loyalty you will ever have is to yourself. We arrive at the final, most brutal principle. You have been taught that loyalty to others is the highest virtue, that self-sacrifice is noble, that putting others first is the mark of a good person. This is the lie that keeps you weak. Loyalty to others at the expense of yourself is not virtue. It is self-destruction. And the people you are sacrificing yourself for will not save you. When you are drowning, they will watch you sink and feel bad about it, but they will not jump in, because at the end of the day, they are loyal to themselves, and you should be too. Machiavelli said, "A prince must learn to be not good." He did not mean be evil. He meant be willing to prioritize your survival over your likability. Be willing to make the hard decision that protects you, even if it disappoints others. Be willing to cut off the relationship that is draining you. Be willing to say no. Be willing to walk away. Most people cannot do this. They are so desperate to be seen as loyal, as good, as reliable, that they let others drain them dry. And when they have nothing left to give, those same people move on to the next host. And the self-sacrificing fool is left alone, empty, wondering where everyone went. Here is the truth that will set you free. Your loyalty to yourself is the only loyalty that is guaranteed to last. Other people will leave. Other people will betray. Other people will choose themselves over you when the stakes are high. But you are stuck with you. You wake up with you. You go to sleep with you. You live in your own mind, your own body, your own consequences. If you betray yourself for the comfort of others, if you ignore your needs to meet theirs, if you sacrifice your future to fund their present, you do not just lose them. Eventually, you lose yourself immediately, and that loss is permanent. The strategy is simple, but painful. Put yourself first, not in a selfish, destructive way, but in a self-preserving, sovereign way. Protect your time, protect your energy, protect your resources, protect your peace. If a relationship requires you to betray your own well-being, and the relationship, if a friendship demands that you shrink to make them comfortable, and a friendship if a partnership requires you to carry all the weight, and the partnership, you are not being cruel, you are being sane. Loyalty to others is beautiful when it is mutual. Loyalty to others is suicide when it is one-sided, and most loyalty is one-sided. Be the person who sees that clearly and acts accordingly. Take a breath. Let these principles settle. I know what you are thinking. This is cold. This is calculating. This is cynical. It is, but look around. You look at the people who trusted completely and got destroyed. Look at the people who gave everything and were left with nothing. Look at the people who believed in unconditional loyalty and were betrayed by the people they would have died for. Were they wrong to trust? No. They were naive to trust blindly. And naivety in a world of strategic actors is not innocence. It is negligence. This does not mean you become a sociopath. It does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you treat everyone like an enemy. It means you stop being a fool. It means you recognize that loyalty is conditional. Trust must be earned. And self-preservation is not a sin. It means you enter relationships with your eyes open, not with your heart on your sleeve. You can still love people. You can still invest in people. You could still build deep, meaningful connections, but you do it from a position of strength, not a position of desperation. You do it with boundaries, not with blind faith. Machiavelli was not evil. He was honest. He looked into the abyss of human behavior and did not blink. He saw that we are driven by self-interest, fear, and ambition. And instead of pretending otherwise, he taught us how to navigate that reality without being destroyed by it. These 10 principles are not about building walls around your heart. They are about building a fortress around your kingdom, so that when the siege comes, and it will come, you are still standing, and the people who truly deserve your trust will respect the fortress. They will not ask you to tear it down. They will earn the key. The world is full of people who will tell you to trust freely, to love without limits, to give without counting. Those people are either saints or idiots, and there are not many saints. The rest of us live in the real world, where trust is a risk, loyalty is negotiable, and betrayal is common. If you want to survive that world with your sanity and your power intact, you have to be smarter than the people who want to take from you. You have to see the game, you have to play the game, and you have to play it better than everyone else. If you have made it this far, you are not part of the herd. You are not the person who blindly trusts and gets blindsided. You are the person who sees clearly, acts strategically, and survives when others fall. But seeing clearly is not enough. You have to act. You have to implement. You have to protect yourself starting today. If you're ready to stop being a pawn in other people's games, if you're ready to take control of who gets access to you, if you are ready to stop getting hurt by people you should have seen coming, then prove it. Comment below, "I trust myself first." Let that be your declaration. Let that be your commitment. Let that be the line you never cross again. And if you want to continue building the psychological armor that makes you untouchable, if you want to learn the deeper strategies that turn you from a target into a threat, subscribe to this channel. Not for me, for you. Because this is not entertainment, this is education. This is the difference between being the person who gets used and the person who cannot be played, turned on notifications. The next lesson is already waiting.